They score. It's getting a little dicey. Defense gets the strip sack, I believe, and offense goes and scores again. And really from that point on, we were really in control. So the way the defense did a great job setting up the offense, I thought special teams, which we knew going in, would be massive today. I thought it was. Louis Headley's punting, 51.7 average. I mean, that's just crazy. I mean, and their guy was amazing also, but just our ability to constantly pin them back, and it's a grinded out game. And Pat Narduzzi is a great coach. He's going to make it that way. But we were able to see it through, and I'm really proud of our guys. Even in the fourth quarter, offense protecting the defense by grinding out. Maybe I don't know, it was like 5 minute drive or something. It's actually I think a 7 minute, whatever it was, with the field goal that made it 12. Just proud of the way we played team ball today. Questions?
Question is going to come from Manny Diaz, the Athletic. Manny, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. I guess number one, Jared Williams. I didn't see him out there, and he's been your starting right tackle most of the season. Just curious if that was your coach's decision or injury related, and then also just the play of the offensive line overall. We knew what kind of challenge it was going to be with Pitt's front seven.
Yeah, so that's difficult. So you had to play those guys without Jared. Jared's got a hand issue. He could have gone today in an emergency, but we went with Zion and John. And those ends are the real deal, which we knew they were, and they bring a lot of pressure, and there's a reason why they lead the nation in sacks. But look, we ended up holding our own. You got to grind out. Let me tell you, running for 100 yards on Pitt's defense, it's a ton of attempts, but that's not easy, and they make it not easy. And so again, I thought those guys did a good job of just being relentless, and then we had a bad play, moving on and just playing the next play.
Great. Next, we're going to go to Gary Furman of Kingsport. Gary, go ahead.
Hey, Manny, congratulations. You mentioned explosive plays, and you had 3 of them today where guys were totally uncovered, and you got walking touchdowns. And it seems to be kind of like a trademark of Brett's offense. We saw it several times in the Louisville game as well. Talk about how that's making a difference for you, and maybe getting, like today, a game like this last year, you might not have won, and it got you out of here today. And talk about just what a difference it's making for the overall program.
Yeah, I mean, Rhett and his staff do a great job. Obviously, they're very creative, and what they do a nice job is that they just see, potential explosive plays that you don't have to manufacture by just beating a guy. And because Pitt's hard to beat in their coverage down the field, I thought Derek threw some great deep balls today that, there were some bang plays down the field that we want to finish. I thought his accuracy was amazing, but the ability to have some ones that you can kind of scheme up, and it's like, hey, listen, if they play this thing, it puts a lot of stress on the defense, and we see it every day in practice. It makes our defense better, and it's hard to get 31 on Pitt, and you got to have some plays like that. So full credit to those guys.
Also, next up, we have David Lake from Inside the Youth. David, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, you touched on Derek, but just in general, how do you feel like you play? Understanding the context of Pitt's defense being very good, and Derek kept battling, and like you said, he had some balls that were, maybe should have been caught, but just the fact that Derek kept battling, what was your thoughts on his performance?
Yeah, everybody in the locker room knows that Derek is not going to back down, and he's a great competitor. Like I said, I liked his accuracy down the field. We're learning, we're getting in the mix of hitting these shots, and Pitt dares you to do it, and they're going to have a guy on you. And look, they couldn't hit their shots on us, there at the end when they try to throw deep on us as well. So it's going to be difficult, but his relentless nature inspires everybody on the offense, and in turn inspires everybody on the football team. Pitt's not going to give any easy throws. They contest everything, but the downside of that is there are some of those plays that you saw go for touchdowns today.
All right, folks, we have time for a few more. Next up, we have Tom D'Angelo from the Palm Beach Post. Tom, go ahead.
Hey, man, this time, this week is going to be, this game is going to be a grind-up game. Coming off the disappointment of last week, every indication from everybody we spoke to was you guys handled it right during the week. Talk about that.
Yeah, I think we have mentioned that we feel like we've got good leadership on our football team, and we were disappointed and a little bit angry, coming off of last week. But you got to put it behind, and that's a difficult situation. You got the noon kickoff, not a super juicy environment because of the restrictions that we have against a team that's hurt and going to play with a sense of desperation, which I thought Pitt did. And so for those guys to go out there and know that it's just not going to be an easy game, regardless of your mental mindset, says a lot about the leadership of our football team.
Next up, we have David Wilson from the Miami Herald. David, go ahead.
Hey, Manny, just what are your thoughts on Quincy Roche today? It seemed like it was probably his best game of the year. And just overall, the defense in the red zone, a ton of tackles go off, a ton of sacks. What do you see them do well kind of with their backs up against the wall today?
Yeah, I thought the defense played outstanding. We challenged them to be the best defense in the stadium today, and I thought they were. If you look at the rush defense, 26 carries for 22 yards. That's phenomenal. I mean, I thought our defensive front got after him pretty good. Like you mentioned, Quincy, just without watching the film, certainly to the eye test, felt like that was his best game, for us since he's been here. But I thought the linebackers played well in terms of all the run game. They went to a lot more 10 personnel to throw the ball, which they had run like maybe 36 snaps of so far this year. So there were some adjustments on that type of deal. But red zone defense is a mentality, and to me, that's where it gets into the culture you have in your defensive room. And to get down there and to make the stops that we made, I think Blake Baker and our defensive staff deserve a lot of credit for that. That's 3 years now that Pitt's only scored one touchdown against our defense, and the one they scored was on a 1-yard drive. And our guys were pissed about that. So really, really proud of the way that they went down there and never panicked when they hit some plays and made them kick field goals. And ultimately, the red zone scoring, we got down there twice on offense and had 2 touchdowns. I think the last, when we didn't score in red zone, I think that's the knee at the end of the game. Ultimately, that was the difference in the game.
Next up, we have David Fronis from the Sun Sentinel. David, go ahead.
Yeah, man, Derek's 2 interceptions. One of them, I think, it was on a tip ball. Is there a concern there were 2 of those today? The other, I think, it was an out the offense almost got returned for big six. They thought that they were a few tip balls.
Yeah, and guys are going to tip, Pitt's defensive ends are like 6'5", 6'6", 6'7". Those guys are like monsters back there. And the one guy tipped the ball and the other guy caught it. Those are things that happen. The other interception was really a nice job by Pitt. They bailed the corner. They showed soft. Pitt doesn't play a lot of two coverage. So he showed soft, and Derek thought he had the out route. I'm standing there. I'm watching the call. I said, he's got the out, and corner did a nice job jumping into it. So they made a good call on that play. Derek made the good throw where really the ball should have gone based off of what he was seeing. So those guys are good on defense, like we said. But again, what you get with Derek is just move on, next play, let's go, and ultimately he was able to make the plays for us to win the game.
Folks, we have 2 more. Next up, we have Dave Hyde from the Sun Sentinel. Dave, go ahead.
Yeah, Manny, I'm curious, how did you handle last week's loss talking to the team? It seemed like there was no problem with that one today, but how did you address it, if at all, to the team?
Well, I mean, we addressed it pretty solidly. We had to look at the reasons for our performance, both individually as individuals and then as a collective. This team, by 5 games in, it appears as though we don't have an issue with effort, and it appears we don't have an issue with attitude. We had an issue last week with discipline. We had an issue with guys trying to do more than the game required, which is something that can happen in that environment. So to come back and you look at penalties, and we had 5 and they had 10, that was a big point of emphasis this week, just to not help the other team. And so I saw less guys, and again, it was always out of good intentions, but last week there was a lot of guys out of good intentions trying to do maybe more than the defense required. And everybody today's the whole thing this week and today in our pregame talk was about trust your teammates, just devote energy into the team effort and just be a cog on the wheel and watch what happens. And that's why I say I was really proud of the way that we played good team ball today. Everybody just did their job and trusted their teammates.
All right, our last question comes from Susan Miller-Magnan of the Miami Herald. Susan, go ahead.
Hey Manny, I know I asked you this week about Kenny Pickett, and you said you were assuming he was going to play. How did that change things, or did you actually prepare for all the quarterbacks? And what was the new guy like for you?
Well, when you play an offense like that, obviously we had an idea that they may have a different quarterback in. You didn't really know until pregame warmups today, but they're going to run what they're going to run, and they've got an offense that they want to throw the ball. They've got all kinds of different pass concepts. So we just practice against what they do. I think probably the difference you saw in the game, Pickett probably with his legs could have kept some plays alive. Go run, scramble where The guy today was a little bit more scrambled to throw. But it didn't, at the end of the day, it didn't really make a big difference in terms of the plays that they were running, in the plays that we were running to defend them.
All right, Coach Diaz, thanks for taking the time to talk with us, and congratulations on the victory.
Okay, thank you all.